everyone, and welcome to today's Conference Tracker Tech Tuesday, Building Better Badges. Today's presenters will be myself, Chad Blodgett. I'm the Business Development Manager here at Engineerica Systems. And we'll also have Garrett Effers, our Software Support Representative, and we have a special guest, Cora Dill, who's going to be with us for our User Spotlight as well. Now, if this is your first Tech Tuesday, just know we do this every third Tuesday at 1 Eastern. Some things that we kind of go over, we go over any conference tracker announcements if we have any, also our tech talk from the conference tracker experts, and at the very end we're going to have a live Q&A if you do have any questions. So we're going to get into the Tech Tuesday. So what makes a better badge? So I've actually been doing event management platforms for almost 10 years now, so I've seen a lot of different badge designs, and I've seen some really good designs, and I've seen some maybe not so good designs. One of the first things that we usually talk about when it comes to choosing a design is something that's clear and clean. I've seen some very intricate designs, but sometimes they're just too busy, and you have people who need to be able to see a badge from a good distance. So first thing is just having a clear and clean design for your badge. Also easy to read. Obviously, we want attendees to be able to read what's on your badge itself. So thinking about things like color contrast, maybe making the name larger like you see in this example here so you can see the attendee's name from further away. Some organizers will have like the attendee's first name larger and maybe their full name underneath it's a little bit smaller so they can clearly see what the attendee's first name is. Also having a customizable badge, being able to determine what information, images that you want on the badge and where do you want them. So when we get into Conference Tracker, Garrett's actually going to show us how you can customize the badge to determine what information you want to go on it and in what section of the badge you want it to be on. And obviously branding, whether it's your conference logo or any other type of images or the name of your event, being able to add that to your badge for branding purposes. And then being able to personalize the badge, not only with things like maybe the attendee's name, title, company, city, state, anything that you're going to be able to personalize it for that user of the badge. But you can even do things like the user's photo. So sometimes it is common for our organizers to add like the presenter photo on the badge, or maybe if you're doing like a staff badge, being able to add the staff's photo to the badge as well. So we're going to get into how do you design a clear, clean, branded, customizable, personalized badge in a conference tracker. And you can do this for attendees, presenters, exhibitors, staff, really any type of user. So you can create multiple types of badge designs. You can even do it for various user groups. So it is common for organizers to maybe make like a member badge versus a non-member badge. You might have it like a different color, or it says member, or VIP might be a certain color, or actually say VIP. So you're going to be able to even design badges for a user group so you can quickly identify who's a member versus a non-member, or who's a VIP, just by simply looking at their badge. Now, with our designer, you're going to be able to choose from multiple designs that we have preloaded into the system. But you also can upload your own design as well. There's many popular badge sizes to choose from, like Avery 3x4, credit card style, larger sizes as well. So there's something like 10 or 12 different sizes to choose from. You can also add any type of text or keywords to personalize your badge. So not only can I add, any type of text to the badge, determine the font color, the font size, but I can also use keywords, which would be like, that's full name, first name, last name, title, company. So I can personalize for each of those individual attendees or users for that badge. They're obviously going to be able to add your conference logo or any other images, as I mentioned before. We even added a snap grid so you can actually easily align those images and text to make sure that everything is centered. And one of the newer features we're actually pretty excited about, it's been requested many, many times over the years, is a resizable QR code. So now you're going to be able to resize that QR code and make it smaller so you have more room to add, other keywords, text, or images. Um, Something that that's been asked for in the past is making that smaller because it was taking up a lot of space, and it wasn't easy to do before because we go with what's recommended for the devices for an easy scan. But now with cameras and technology, you can actually make QR codes smaller and still scan them really fast and easily. So we made now a resizable QR code. So we're going to go over some of the printing options. And one of the most popular printing options is pre-printing your badges. So again, most of our organizers actually pre-print all of their badges ahead of time. So they design their badge in Conference Checker. They purchase the badge stock, Avery, or whatever size that they need. You're able to use your own printer and print out your own badges on before the event happens, and you can actually print those badges multiple times. So I can actually get a head start of the printing on my badges without ever duplicating the printing of those badges. And Garrett will show you how you can accomplish this in Conference Checker. Also, all your badges will print out in alphabetical order by last name. Now, another popular option is printing on site. Now, you're able to do this by using one of our newer check-in kiosks, or this can be a staff-facing option as well. Not only can we print out the badges on site, but you can also do your attendee check-in and attendee registration through this on-site option. So you can use your own printer, your own laptops or iPads or stands, but we do have the equipment for rent as well, in case you want to do a kiosk, which consists of an iPad stand, and a single badge printer. Now, one thing to think about is you can still pre-print your badges, but also print on site as well. So you can print all of your early registrants before the conference, but maybe you have walk-ins that you'll still be able to do your on-site printing for those who were like walk-in registrations. For the last options, we actually offer a printing service. So we actually we'll take your registration list, we'll help you design the badge in Conference Checker, but we'll actually print it out here in office and ship it to you as well. So if you're interested in the printing option, please just let us know. We even stuff the badges for you, so when you get them, they're already in card holders. Usually they'll come with lanyards if you want to purchase lanyards through us as well. And they'll be in alphabetical order by last name. So all you have to do is take your box, go to the registration booth, set them out, and you're good to go. Now, one last option is the attendees do have the ability through our attendee app to pull up their own badge or their own QR code. So this has been a great option for attendees maybe that forgot their badge and they're going to a session, they lost their badge and they're going to a session, or maybe we've had a couple events do this, they don't want to have a physical badge anymore. Maybe they want to reduce their carbon footprint, so they're not doing printing this year. And the attendees can actually just pull up their QR code, their badge, right on their own phone through our attendee app, and you can scan off of their phone for your attendance tracking. So now I'm going to hand it over to Garrett, who's actually going to walk us through the badge designing and printing process.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Chad. So of course, like you said, today we're going over badges. So the first step in badges, right, is to make sure that the badge option is enabled. So to do that, we're going to Conference and then Setup. And we're scrolling down to the bottom of this page where we have all our visibility toggles. And we're just going to double check that this little badge toggle is on for us. So now we're moving into Design. That's going to be done in Badges and Design Badges. Now I do have one here, but we're going to go ahead and just create a new one. I already have an attendee badge in here, so we're just going to create an exhibitor badge super quick. And as you can see, we have all these nice little designs in here. I'm a little particular to this one because I feel like it has the most information quickly for you as far as the keywords go. And of course, all of these are text fields, so we can add and replace if you want to also list their location. We can just click this little copy button because we like the bold, and we're going to drag this underneath here, and we're going to switch out some keywords because that's what these $ words are. They're just keywords. So we're going to come down here to our settings and we're going to click show keywords. And from here you have a bunch of little clickable keywords that you can just add in one click, so you don't have to type anything. It's nice and comfortable to just boop, and there we go. So in this case, we wanted to add location. So we're going to say city, comma, spacebar, state. And as you can see, there's tons of other options here. So if you have any sort of custom fields that you've set up with your account, we can use those fields. If you want to reference something from their registration, we can do that as well. If there's any sort of math function that you want to do, if you're looking to pull different attendance minutes from certain things, if you're going to reprint their badges each day so they have a physical card that tells them how many minutes they've attended or something along those lines. And then of course we have some extra table keywords down here. The important one here is the date. This is a really useful one if you have like a one-day conference and you just want to show today's date. So moving on from this little helpful box, right, looking at all of our other options, of course you have your font size and your type. We also have text alignment and color options, as well as the text wrap. And this one kind of goes a little overlooked, so I like to point this one out to people when we do our support meetings. The text wrap, in the case that you have an attendee with a super long name, this is a great setting here to change it to shrink to fit size instead of multiple lines. And it'll auto detect when it's past this point here on your printable area, and it'll lower the font size until the full name fits on this area that you've selected with the blue lines. The other setting down here at the bottom is text case beyond the styles. The text case, we have several options here. This is really great for those that are utilizing registration. Sometimes your attendees may forget what the shift key does. And so some names come through in all caps, some come through all lowercase. So just for uniformity, right, we have a few options if you want to do all uppercase, all lowercase. Proper case being capital letter on the first letter and then lowercase for the rest of the word. And then default is going to be however it's put in the system. So if they did happen to come through registration and mess up the upper lowercase options there, that's going to show through on your badge. But of course, if you're importing and you're confident in the way that your attendees are listed in the system, default is fine. In this case, we're just going to go ahead and move it to proper. Now, at its core, we have a bunch of sizes over here. This is what's going to determine how much area and design space that you have in your display. So if I move it up to a 4 by 5.5 portrait badge, you'll see how it extends to fit. Now, typically you do find the Avery 5392. This is your typical industry standard badge size, right? This prints in a sheet of 6. So if you're doing any sort of on-site printing, like Chad mentioned earlier, we also have the 4 by 3 on-site size, and this is going to print you a single badge in that PDF that it generates instead of a page of 6. So like Chad said, one of the features that we brought in recently that I'm actually really excited about is we can now resize the QR codes. So just like any image that you use in your electronic programs, right, if you go to the edge, your mouse will turn into the little double bar stretch line, and then you can just resize that however you want. Now, if you're looking for alignment, say I want the QR code and the full name to kind of be aligned at the top, we have this nice snap grid lines option over here on the right-hand side that Chad talked about, and this is going to display that grid for you so that when you select and move one of your fields, it'll snap into place here wherever you want it. Just make this a little smaller so it goes to that corner, and then we'll just move this up. Perfect. and we'll shut that off. So now it looks the way I want it. We've got a nice little static field here for attendee, so we know what role they're on. We're gonna really quickly change that to exhibitor, just so it's correct. And then everything else looks fine. We're gonna save those changes. Now that you have a couple badge designs in the system, it's important to set your defaults. This so that if you are going to do something with having the attendees or the exhibitors come in and print their own badges, you want to tell the system what badge design we're using for what role in the system. So we're going to select attendee and the exhibitor badges here and save those changes. Now that we have our badges, let's go ahead and move on over to the print function, and we're going to see how this is laid out here. So as you can see, we have some defaults. It automatically selected the attendee design just because that was the first in the list. And we are printing all of our badges in one go for people with the role of attendee. So in this case, like Chad talked about, you can start getting your pre-printing done in advance. So if you have some attendees in the system, your first print is going to be with all of your badges. And then your second print is going to be only the people who are modified after the last time badges have been printed. Or if you're printing for a couple days, maybe you want to reprint yesterday's because you lost the files or maybe they got wet, who knows, right? We have the option to print only the badges that have been modified after a specific date. So if you want to pull that and say, oh, well, I made the mistake yesterday, so let's do everything from Tuesday, that is an option for you. In this case, we just want to generate all, so we're just going to leave it at the defaults. Now, if you happen to be grouping your attendees within your account, like Chad mentioned, if you have different groups for members or non-members, or I've seen some different medical conferences separate doctors, nurses, physicians, things of this nature, law enforcement from investigators and actual field officers and things of this nature. You can select your groups here. And so now we're just printing the doctors group with the attendee badge. So if I had a different badge design in here for doctors and nurses, we would make that selection and then generate the file from here. Now, of course, as you can guess, this is going to generate a PDF, as it says down here. And once this file generates, you can open and save it from your web browser. Now, as you can see, I do have a bunch of attendees in this, but I don't have all of their data. You'll see that only a couple people have actually given me their city, their state, maybe their company. So maybe I need to go back through and send them a profile update invitation. To do that, we're going to go to attendees, manage attendees, and then you have your send profile update invitation here. This is a great way to give them a reminder to come in and update their profile, maybe give you some of that extra information. But with this generation, maybe it's too close to the event and we can't get this data. So this is a good time for us to go back and step into our badges and then edit. So to do that, I'm going to step into designs and we're going to design from the 3 dots menu next to that badge. And this is our attendee design. We are working on the exhibitor one. So we're going to design here and we're just going to get rid of that city state with that trash can. Nice and quick for you. Now maybe we've looked at the attendee badge and we've decided that we want to change that image and that background. Maybe we don't. We want to include some extra images here. So to add an image, we're just going to come over to our toolbox and click image. It's going to give you a nice little box that you can move around and place however you like. And then down here at the bottom, you'll notice your upload. Now, at its core, your pre-built designs in CT are just images as well, and those are located down here. So if you want to remove this and upload your own image to work as the background design, that is an option as well. And just really quickly before we move on to emailing, like Chad said, we do have the user photo option. So if your people are uploading photos, we can display that on their badge as well. It's a nice little feature. So we're going to go ahead and save changes. And we're going green this year. We're not printing any badges. So we're going to email these badges out to our attendees. And if they want to print them on their own, that's their prerogative. So to do that, we're going to go into badges, email badges, and we're going to scroll down and just generate the attendee badge design for everybody with the attendee role. And once you've generated this file, you'll see that down here at the bottom, it opens up in a customizable email template for you. And we can even get specific here with these name keywords so that you can actually say, hey, so-and-so, it's time to print your badges. Here's your badge for the 2024 Avengers Academy Conference, right? This is my demo account, so I'm a little nerdy. So with that, the other thing that we want to talk about with badges is the attendee options, right? Because the attendees also have the option to log into the system, assuming they have an account, and print their own badge direct from CT. So to do that, we're going to go to advanced options, and then we're going to scroll down here to our settings. And over here in the general, down in the what I like to call the do-it-yourself settings, you can give the users the ability to generate their own badge, their CEU report, their certificates. And so as you toggle this on, and only when you toggle this on, do your attendees have this ability. So if you don't want to give them this power until 2 weeks before the event, and then you can come in here and toggle this on, that of course is up to you. And of course, when you're changing settings, just remember to save your changes. As well, Chad talked about the what ifs, right? What if they lose their badge? What if they misplace it? They left it in the hotel room, you know, whatever the case may be. If you step in here to your attendee portal settings, we have the options to drag your badge design up into your home menu. And we're just going to grab this and we're going to make this number 5. So it's dead center of the page and it's right next to self sign-in. They can't miss it. So not only will it be in the side menu of their app, it'll also be on the home page. And this is a great way to just cut down on paper if you don't want to print this year, or if, like I said, those what ifs, if they forget it, if they lose it, they always have an option to still be able to record their attendance as long as they have their attendee app with them.